There is a fascinating strategic irony in this maneuver. The United States invests fortunes in developing stealth engineering so that its jets can operate in total invisibility, traversing the globe without leaving a trace, only to, in the next moment, cause a tectonic shock by launching a massive payload of explosives. At the crack of dawn, precisely at 3:25 a.m., the pair of Petro 41 and 42 stealth bombers entered Iranian territory, tasked with destroying the ballistic missile silos protected by an 80-meter layer of solid rock in the Al-Borz mountain range. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. The strategic challenge is immense, as the Iranian installations were built hundreds of meters underground, employing vertical launch systems that fire solid fuel projectiles directly from the mountain's interior into the sky, keeping everything camouflaged. To destroy such a fortress, the B-2A's onboard system performs extreme mathematical calculations, adjusting to atmospheric variations and winds in real time at speeds of nearly 9,000 kilometers per hour. Precision is vital, as the GBU-31 bombs with armor-piercing warheads need to hit the exact angle to avoid being repelled by the hardness of the granite. However, the situation becomes critical when the monitoring system detects immediate threats. Two fighter jets, Su-35S Flanker E, the most advanced models in the Iranian fleet, take off at full force from a nearby base to intercept the invaders. But the Iranian pilots are not naive. They know that activating their Exoverse radars would reveal their position to the bombers' electronic warfare systems. Instead, they keep the radars off and use OLS-35, an advanced electro-optical and infrared search and track system. This passive sensor completely ignores stealth coatings. It seeks the visual contrast of the B-2's silhouette against the sky and tracks the thermal signature of the engines releasing gases at hundreds of degrees Celsius in the cold atmosphere. The distance on the display drops rapidly: 35, 28 kilometers, 20 kilometers. The Su-35s already see them directly through their high-resolution cameras. The lead fighter stabilizes its nose and achieves perfect optical lock. Its R-74 heat-seeking missiles are aligned directly for the bomber's exhaust port. Fortunately, the bombers are not alone. Their escort is the aerial equivalent of a colossus armed to the teeth. A pair of F-5s and an E-Strike Eagle aircraft loaded with air-to-air missiles 96 kilometers away. The F-15s activate their APG-82 ASA radars in active mode, flooding the electromagnetic spectrum. Inside the B-2, the commanders silently monitor the situation on the tactical screen. Two blue triangles converge aggressively toward the threat. Two red triangles respond. It's a deadly threat over which the bomber pilots have no control. The only thing they can control is their attack trajectory. There are 117 kilometers left to the launch point, exactly 14 minutes. The Su-35s need to be neutralized before then for a crucial reason. Opening the bomb bay doors increases the B-2's radar signature by up to 100 times. During those 10 seconds, the aircraft ceases to be virtually invisible and becomes a huge target. If any enemy sensor is pointed in that direction within 19 kilometers, the B-2 will be compromised. The Su-35's radar warning receivers will activate. They were detected. The Iranian leader turns sharply to the left, reverses the aircraft, and dives toward the mountains. His wingman follows. They are not fleeing. They are using the mountainous terrain to mask their signature, interfere with radar, and break the blockade. But this game consumes time that the B-2 does not have. 11 minutes to go. The red contacts are flashing intermittently. Suddenly, an F-15E detects a brief infrared flash. A Su-35 has just engaged its afterburner as it emerges from behind a mountain 24 kilometers away, attempting a new attack. The F-15 pilot reacts immediately. An AIM-120 AMRAAM is launched, accelerating to Mach 3. At 27 kilometers, it should have been a sure hit. But the Iranian pilot detects the launch, executes an aggressive turn, and plunges back into the mountains. The missile misses its target amidst the noise of the terrain. Every time a Su-35 appears, the F-15 has only 3 seconds to react. It's not enough. It's a deadly game of hit the target. 90 seconds to go. Total silence in the Petro 41 cockpit. The F-15Es have lost contact with the lead fighter. The B-2's autopilot is maintaining course. The aircraft needs to fly straight and level. At 3:05 p.m., the timer reaches 0. The bomb bay doors open. At that instant, the B-2 becomes visible to radar, and that was exactly what the Iranian pilot expected. The Su-35 emerges from the mountain just 15 kilometers away. Critical alarm. An R-74 missile is launched. Doctrine dictates evasive maneuvering, but if the B-2 maneuvers with its doors open at 900 kilometers per hour, the bombs could collide internally and destroy the aircraft. The commander maintains course. 10 eternal seconds. The 16 bombs are released. 16 tons leave the aircraft. The doors close. Secrecy returns. Immediately, the B-2 brakes to the left and launches thermal countermeasures. The F-15E dives at high speed, releasing its own countermeasures and activating maximum electronic jamming. The missile misses its target and explodes 500 meters from the wing. Meanwhile, the GBU-31s hit the mountain with precision. The BLU-109 warheads penetrate dozens of meters before exploding inside the complex. The internal structures collapse. The mountain implodes, sealing everything under tons of rock. But the mission continues. 960 kilometers to the south, Petro 42 enters Corridor 2. 8 minutes remain. A Bavar 373 battery activates its radar and locks onto the B-2. A Sayed 4B missile is launched. The response is immediate. An EA-18G Growler detects the emission, saturates the frequency with electronic interference, and fires an AGM-88G anti-radiation missile. Its ramjet is activated, accelerating to Mach 4 U's, tracking the energy beam directly to the Iranian radar antenna. The ballistic computer displays paralyzing mathematics. There are 60 seconds left for the anti-radiation missile to destroy the anti-aircraft battery, but there are exactly 58 seconds left for the Iranian missile to reach the altitude of the B-2. For the Sayed 4B to hit its target, the Iranian operator needs to keep the radar on to guide it in the terminal phase. If it turns off, the missile is blinded and the B-2 survives. But if the radar remains active, the American missile will have a perfect target to hit directly. The Petro 42 commander cannot alter course, only watch the timers plummeting on the tactical screen. 10 seconds. The Growler unleashes a massive amount of electronic interference on the network, degrading the Iranian missile's firing solution. The Sayed begins to veer slightly, losing speed as it attempts to correct its trajectory amidst the electronic chaos. Those milliseconds make all the difference. The anti-radiation missile impacts first. At 13,000 meters below, the Bavar 373 radar battery is transformed into a crater of molten metal. Above, just 3 kilometers from Petro 42, Sayed 4B abruptly loses its data link. Blind and without ground guidance, it activates its safety systems and detonates prematurely in the sky. With the Iranian missile reduced to fragments behind him, the Petro 42 commander turns his attention to the tactical screen. 5 minutes remain until the launch point over Isfahan. The Link 16 network has just launched a new problem. The airspace over the targets turned into chaos. 2 Israeli F-35I stealth fighters invaded the sector at low altitude, hunting mobile missile launchers. Mission Command ordered the B-2 to shift its launch point 3 kilometers north to avoid collision or fratricide. In civil aviation, deviating by 3 kilometers is a simple course adjustment. In a stealth strategic bomber, This means manually reprogramming the GPS coordinates of 16 smart bombs, each weighing 1 ton, while the aircraft travels at 15 kilometers per minute. The commander's fingers dart across the tactical keyboard. Trained, this procedure has been repeated hundreds of times in simulators at Whiteman Air Base, but never with a heart rate of 140 beats per minute after escaping an anti-aircraft missile. 3 minutes to go. Below, the Israelis do their job. The B-2's passive radar picks up the thermal flash when an Israeli GBU-39 bomb vaporizes an Iranian truck loaded with ballistic fuel. The secondary explosion is so intense that it blinds the Petro-42's infrared sensors for a full 2 seconds. 60 seconds remain. The commander finalizes the last line of code. 8 new ballistic trajectories confirmed. At 3:44 a.m., the belly of the bomber opens. 8 GBU-31s fall in sequence. The titanium fins vibrate in the cold air, adjusting the trajectory with microscopic precision. The warheads hit the target with brutal accuracy. Isfahan complexes. The mountain collapses in on itself, burying the Iranian technicians and sealing the complex under thousands of tons of rock and reinforced concrete. The Petro-42 closes its hatches and turns sharply southeast. The bomber begins a 35-minute tactical flight. After covering nearly 500 kilometers, the Petro-42 reaches its final target, Corgu, a massive ballistic missile launch complex carved into the living rock. Unlike the other bases, Corgu is fully operational. Armored hatches atop the mountain open mechanically every 8 minutes, launching ballistic missiles into the night sky, directly targeting coalition bases in the Persian Gulf. The commander of Petro-42 can't simply hit the hatches, he needs to destroy the launch tubes. He needs to hit the reload window precisely. The computer calculates the freefall time, 90 seconds. The B-2 adjusts its course over the active mountain. At 4:01 a.m., exactly when the reload cycle reaches the 5th minute, the Petro-42 opens its weapons bays at the moment of maximum vulnerability. The 8 remaining bombs plunge into the abyss. The autopilot executes an aggressive turn to escape. Below, in the depths of Corgu, the enormous steel doors of the main silo are open, ready to receive the next ballistic missile. What hits the target is not a self-propelled projectile, but a ton of solid steel in accelerated free fall. The BLU-109 warhead pierces the launch structure and explodes in the center of the lifting mechanism, causing terminal damage without needing a visible external explosion. The impact annihilates the automatic reloading system, deforms the titanium launch guides, and causes the chamber to collapse. Immediately afterward, a second charge enters through a nearby opening, reiterating the destruction, while the remaining GBU-31 bombs hit the ventilation ducts and service entrances, sealing the underground complex forever. Corgu is plunged into silence and darkness, and tactical communication ceases. The operations center, which moments before represented a real threat to regional stability, was neutralized by precise ballistic calculations. At that moment, it became clear to the Iranian authorities the reason for certain deficiencies in American civilian infrastructure. Capital had been diverted to the creation of a billion-dollar stealth aircraft designed to traverse the world and turn mountains into ruins. The mission is accomplished. What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments and see you next time.